G'day senior golfers, I'm Glenn Haynes. Well, today's a little bit different. We're going to focus on 7 key areas of the body that we really need to mobilise to help you with your golf swing, to reduce the chance of injury and help you swing more effectively, hit the ball further with less effort. Now, all of these stretches / mobility exercises are all low impact, but please consult your healthcare professional before undergoing any mobility program. Make sure you're fit and healthy enough to go through these exercises. These stretches are best done after a good warm-up. It's not a good idea to stretch cold muscles. That can lead to injury. So go through a good warm-up routine, even some jumping jacks running on the spot. Walk the dog. Well, these stretches are great for after a game of golf. Now, these 7 stretches, they're all focused on specific parts of the body that we really suffer to mobilise as we get older due to lifestyle or sitting in front of a computer for hours on end. We really do lack mobility because of the things that we have to do with our work, lifestyle and school even. And these aren't just for senior golfers, these are going to help any golfer that wants to move better with less chance of injury. And of course, these are lifestyle choices as well. If we can move better, it's going to help us with every walk of life. Welcome to Aussie Golf Pros, where we help you make the most of your game. Obviously, we're not going to cover every body part, but we're going to start from the ground up. We're going to start with the hamstrings. It's a real key area, and it's definitely where a lot of senior golfers really get tight. So I'm not a big fan of touching the toes. It's all right now and again, but I wouldn't use it as a long-term stretch. So we're going to do one leg at a time. We're going to get one leg out in front of us and on the knee here. And let's get the right leg forward and your right arm inside. And as you bend forward, you're going to really isolate that hamstring. It's a good little stretch. And obviously, the longer you can hold that, the better. Ideally, around about a minute. I'm not going to hold it that long for the purpose of this video, but that's the real key here is if you can get that lead arm. So I've got the right leg in front of me, the same arm inside the thigh, palm facing inwards, and then just stretch forward. We don't want to be bending forward like this. You want to move your whole torso forward, and you're going to really feel that isolation in the stretch in that thigh and hamstring area. And then obviously, really important to do both sides. Left leg forward now, left arm inside. And again, just moving, trying to keep the spine fairly straight, and you're going to really feel a great stretch in that hamstring. And that's going to help you to mobilize and use your legs better in the golf swing, and of course, reduce your chance of straining those hamstrings. What we're going to do here is we're going to get our legs nice and wide, not as wide as you can go, but pretty wide, and we're going to detract the hip. We want to push that heel away, just going to focus on one at a time. This is straight from Dr. Greg Rose at TPI, the Titleist Performance Institute. So these are called hip windshield wipers. And we're going to detract that hip. So I'm pushing my heel, my right heel, away from me as far as I can go. Really feel like there's space created in that hip joint. Pull the toe towards you and then rotate outwards and inwards. And I want you to do this for a good 30 seconds or so, pushing each time that you're rotating your foot backwards and forwards, then you're pushing that heel as far away, really trying to unscrew your hip joint. 30 seconds on that side. You'll find internal rotation harder than external, most of the people anyway. So, and then 30 seconds on the left side. This one's a lot easier for me. I've got a bit of an impingement in my right hip. So this one is a lot more mobile, but this one's improving specifically from these hip windshield wipers. I'm getting more mobility and more inward rotation with that right foot. A lot of you will only be able to get to here, but just keep moving it. And it's not a case of just spinning your foot backwards and forwards. You have to detract the hip. Push the heel as far away from you as you can go and really feel like you're creating some space in that hip. Now, what Dr. Greg Rose wants you to do then is move into some different areas. So then hands forward. We started with the hands behind us, now hands forward and detract that hip. So again, backwards and forwards, pushing the heel away, pulling the toe towards you, and then just bringing the foot in next to your thigh, same thing, another 30 seconds, left and right side, rotating, and then the fourth one is bring the foot over the leg, holding the knee, and then rotating that foot. So this is going to go a long way towards mobilizing those hip joints, and that's key if you want to turn in the golf swing. That's where it's at. The hips need to do a lot of work and they need to be very mobile. It takes a lot of stress off your lower back as well. Now still on the hips, this is the hip flexor stretch. So we're going to cross the legs, I'm not very good at this one. I haven't done it too often, but it's really going to help stretch those hip flexors and the sides of the hips out. And we're going to just bend forward here and allow gravity to just help us to stretch those hips out. And the whole goal here is to be able to try to get your elbows on the ground. You yoga moves out there, you're going to find this pretty easy, but for us old guys and girls, this is going to be pretty challenging. So I have managed to get my elbows on the ground in the past. Just need to get forward a little bit more. And the longer I stay there, the closer I'll get to it. Getting closer. Okay, so that's just a sitting cross-legged, forward bend, and let's get those hip flexors really stretched out. Again, into rotation. Rotation is so key for the golf swing after all. These are called open books. So we're going to get out on the side here, stretch that arm out to the side, and we're going to open that chest up, keep that arm flexed, and let's see if we can rotate that upper thoracic area, really stretching the whole back here. Try to keep that knee, that's a bit difficult for me on that side. Try to keep these knees together. And now we're starting to really get a good thoracic stretch there. And you can do that 10 to 15 times, but you must do it on both sides. Get your knees up nice and high here. You want this hip on top of the other one. You don't want to be spinning out here. Just keep the hips vertical in line there. And let's open that thoracic area. Keep those knees together. Watch your hand as you go back. Hold it for a good 2 or 3 seconds. And then back. And they're called open books. And that's really important in developing some rotation, both in your backswing and your downswing. Another one in thoracic rotation. This is a really key aspect because we want to be able to protect the lower back. The lower back shouldn't have to work too hard in the golf swing. But if we can't rotate in the upper back, we can't rotate the hips, then the lower back is going to compensate. And that can lead to injury. So especially if you've got sore lower back, you need to be able to mobilize the upper thoracic area and the hips so that they do all the work. Keep that lower back stable. So this is another rotation one. This is a modified version of thread the needle. So we're going to get into all fours here. I don't like to be pushing my hand down flat here because that can strain the wrist. So let's keep a bit of a fist here if you can. If you can't, then find something else to hang on to. There's definitely some different products on the market where you can just hold on to a bit of a bar there. So making a fist, and put your hand behind the head there and rotate around. Try to get your elbow up as high as you can, and then down and get your elbow to your opposite knee, and then back up again. Again, 10 to 15 reps, elbow to knee. Really get that through there. Even get your elbow past your knee. Good rotation. And then obviously you've got to do both sides. 10 to 15 reps, hand on the back of the head, rotate, and then under. Get that elbow right past the knee, rotate, and then under. Take your time with it. It's not about rushing it, going through the reps quickly. You want a good stretch. You can hold it for a couple of seconds. And then through. And that's going to go a long way towards protecting your lower back. Let's get that upper back moving the way it should be. And that's going to help you to complete that turn in the backswing and get you through impact faster. Shoulders are next, and what we really want to be able to do is to externally rotate the shoulders. So in the backswing and downswing, we want to be able to get this elbow coming down and in front of us rather than chicken wing and getting behind here. And also in the through swing, we want to be able to rotate this elbow this way. That's externally rotating the shoulder instead of chicken winging this way. And that's obviously a shoulder mobility issue. So we want to be able to externally rotate. So palms up. Let's get the thumbs out and let's rotate. Hold for 2 or 3 seconds and then back again. And this is a good rotator cuff exercise, mobilizing and improving your range of motion in that shoulder external rotation. You can use a light band as well. Nothing too strong. Just holding again, thumbs out and then rotate outwards. Don't have to use a band, but it is obviously going to just strengthen that rotator cuff and improve that range of motion. You want to be able to get those thumbs out all the way around and get some good external rotation with your shoulders. That's really key for getting the shaft in a good plane in the downswing and being able to release the club effectively through impact. The neck is often neglected when it comes to a mobility program, and that's a shame because neck mobility is super important in the golf swing if we want to be able to complete our turn. So getting into the top of the backswing here, we want to be able to have a nice big shoulder turn of 90 to 100 degrees. We can't do that effectively and keep our eyes on the golf ball if there's no mobility in the neck. I've seen a lot of senior golfers, they go for the big turn and the head moves off here, they actually lose sight of the golf ball, and that's a real problem due to that neck mobility. And it's a shame because it's so easy and so simple to be able to improve your neck mobility. We're going to do this with something called star patterns. Again, this is from the Titleist Performance Institute, and I've found it personally really effective in helping me to improve my neck mobility and reduce any stiffness in the neck too. So quite simply, very slowly here, we're going to look straight up and stretch that neck out. Nothing should hurt here, and then all the way down, just nice and slowly. And I want you to do that about 5 times, just up and down with the stretch, and then we're going to go ear to shoulder. Not going to bring the shoulder up, so we're just going to let the arms hang by the sides there, and then ear to shoulder. And again, just holding it for a few seconds, and about 5 reps each side. Make sure you both go both ways. And then rotation, this is the one that's really going to help you with the golf swing. But it's important to stretch your neck and mobilize your neck in all planes. So again, just 5 each side, nice and slowly, good stretch, nothing hurting, and then diagonally. So down into your arm, and then look up diagonally. And I felt a little bit of a crack there, just loosening things up. Nothing wrong with that, that's just the air popping. And again, 5 each side, and that's really going to help you to rotate into the backswing, still keep your eyes on the ball, and let's face it, that's going to help us to hit the ball more cleanly. Our goal here is to reduce the chance of injury and to be able to move better in the golf swing. To be able to work on those motions that your coach is so keen for you to do that you haven't been able to do. And this is why you need to be able to move effectively and without injury so that you can stay in posture and rotate better in the golf swing and to be able to hit the ball further with less effort. Now, these aren't warm-up routines. These are stretches that you do after golf and when you're warmed up. If you're keen for a quick warm-up, then hop onto this video here. This is a great 3-minute warm-up that's really going to help you if you're running late to the tee. Hopefully, you've gone through an exercise routine or something bespoke for you before you even leave for the golf course. Thanks so much for watching. We look forward to your company next week. Are you the best golfer you can be?